Now on 4 News Now at 6. It will soon be adults only in some North Idaho libraries. The planned special room for mature content and why some are pushing back against the government restricting certain access to books.
Possibility of snow is fading from the forecast. I'll show you what kind of wintry weather is on the way in your first alert forecast.
And President Trump is making sweeping changes to the U.S. border policy. We have team coverage tonight with one man who's concerned for his friends and family here at home and overseas, plus the impact the president's mass deportation plan could have on your grocery bill. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
In Kootenai County, books with mature or sexual content will no longer be on the shelves of public or school libraries. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Instead, they will be shelved in a private adults-only room, an effort to shield minors from sexually explicit content. Jordan Smith has the latest on that decision and how many books could wind up in that room.
An Idaho law passed last year requires that books deemed harmful to children be relocated into a private space like this. Only adults are allowed inside. Anyone under 18 will have to be accompanied by a parent or a legal guardian for their protection.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Ayes have it. It's approved.
On Thursday, the Community Library Network, which operates 7 libraries in Kootenai County, voted to set up a private room for mature content in the Post Falls Library. It's in accordance with an Idaho law that clamps down on sexually explicit material being available to minors in public or school libraries. It's the latest move in a nationwide disagreement on government's role in restricting public access to books. Several in attendance at Thursday's meeting in full support of this move.
But when you start talking about with young children going in and doing alterations to their body, to the genitalia, when their minds are not fully formed, you're creating harm there.
Others, like Teresa Burkett, are not.
They're controlling.
Burkett argues it should be up to the parents to decide which books children should be reading, not the government.
Look at those books. Decide for yourself if it's appropriate for your child. Not for everyone's child.
140 books have been temporarily pulled from the shelves and are under review by the library to determine if they belong in this new section. The Community Library Network told me they have not figured out which room will be the new home for this mature content collection. They declined our multiple requests for a one-on-one interview discussing these decisions. In Post Falls, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Well, we hope you've been enjoying the sunny and cold drives to work in the morning because there are more on the way.
I have to admit, it's been pretty pleasant. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see how long the trend will last.
Yes, keep your sunglasses in the car. We do have more weather like this on the way with one little system that'll be dropping through a little more than 24 hours from now. 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be another cold night tonight with partly sunny skies on Thursday. Some very light snow coming in late Thursday, less than an inch almost everywhere. Here is a look at our odds of only 1/10 of an inch or more. Moses Lake and Colville, a 0% chance. Deer Park, only a 4% chance. We have to go to Coeur d'Alene to find more than a 50% chance of snow. I suppose graphics should not have a guy snow blowing because it is not going to be much precipitation on the way. In the meantime, here is a look at your forecast for Thursday, hour by hour. 18 degrees to start the day with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. We will have light winds throughout the day. Temperature for a high 32 degrees. We will see the clouds increasing in the evening and then that chance of light snow coming in behind it. I will tell you all about that snow on the way and how it may impact your Friday commute in just a few minutes.
We will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
President Trump is making good on his promise of sweeping immigration reform. In the last 2 days alone, the president has declared an emergency on the southern border shut down the app that helped migrants seek asylum in the U.S., and also signed an executive order to redefine birthright citizenship.
The president has also promised to follow through on his mass deportation plan. We have team coverage tonight. Our Marissa Rio shares how deporting illegal immigrants will affect one local apple orchard and what it could mean for food prices. Hunter Bertram brings us the emotions of local refugees whose families are now stuck in refugee camps. We begin, though, with Alexandra Cohen-Yards, who explains if any of this is legal in the first place.
I really like the city. I feel how my home, like my home.
Diver Acevedo immigrated to the United States from Venezuela 2 years ago. The journey here took more than 6 months. Just like everyone else in the United States, he has rights. Manzanita House, a local organization, has helped him recognize those.
The main goal is just to communicate the rights that everyone has in the United States. That's regardless of immigration status.
In a typical year, Manzanita House sees around 700 people from 70 different countries. But in the last few days, they've noticed an influx of people reaching out, raising fears and concerns.
We've been receiving communication both through personal channels and through our phone, emails of just individuals, even those who have very firm immigration status, who are terrified.
In recent months, Manzanita House has held Know Your Rights workshops to help support and educate immigrants about their rights. With recent changes to immigration policies, these workshops have become ever more important. But with an incoming administration, how much change can we expect? I took this question to an expert.
The possibility for change is immense, but it remains to be seen how the Congress will work to pass new immigration reform.
Gonzaga University professor of law Michael Cecil emphasizes that immigrants, including lawful permanent residents, have rights they should know and protect.
Important for immigrants, people with kind of intergenerational backgrounds to understand their rights and to protect their rights, and to know that the Constitution does protect people.
While these are uncertain times, Diver remains hopeful and optimistic.
I'm feeling a little nervous, but I can improve my process. I can be a good person.
Reporting from Spokane, Alexandra Cohen-Yards, 4 News Now.
Well, the Trump administration recently announced federal immigration officers can now arrest people in churches and schools. It marks a shift away from the longstanding policy of avoiding so-called sensitive areas. The administration says it will not tie the hands of law enforcement, but trust them to use common sense. In the inland Northwest, federal agents will not be getting help from local law enforcement in Washington. That's because state law says officers do not participate with other agencies in sweeps or efforts focused on detaining undocumented immigrants. The Spokane Police Department released a statement on this, saying, "We respect the rights and dignity of all individuals, reinforcing our commitment to equitable law enforcement for everyone in Spokane." But in Idaho, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office saying it will help federal agents, writing criminals, whether foreign nationals, illegal immigrants, or U.S.-born citizens, will not use Kootenai County as a place of refuge.
And it's not just the executive branch pushing for immigration reform. Today, the House of Representatives passed the Laken-Riley Act. If signed into law, the legislation requires the Department of Homeland Security to detain undocumented migrants who are charged with certain crimes, including theft and burglary. The bill is named after Laken-Riley, a college student who was murdered by an undocumented migrant from Venezuela while out on a run in Georgia last year. The bill was co-sponsored by Idaho Senator Mike Crapo. He released a statement reading in part, Laken-Riley should have recently turned 23 and should be finishing nursing school to fulfill her life's passion of taking care of others. Instead, she was murdered in cold blood by an individual who should have never been in the United States in the first place. Democrats who voted against the bill, including Washington Senator Patty Murray, who says this act will have unintended consequences.
As written, it will drastically undermine civil liberties in this country. It will throw our immigration system into absolute chaos by undermining any president's authority to shape federal policy.
The bill now heads to the president's desk for his signature. Thousands of refugees hoping to fly to the U.S. have had their flights canceled. An executive order signed by President Trump changes the country's refugee admission policy, banning most entries starting January 27th. President Trump saying he did this to curb recent record-level immigration. Our Hunter Bertram shows us the impact this will have on separated refugee families.
What is a refugee?
It's someone who has fled their country out of a well-founded fear of persecution.
Persecution where one is punished for being themselves.
And they have to prove that.
Which Saw Gary did.
I moved in the state back in 2004. And before then, of course, in a refugee camp in Thailand.
He fled his life in Thailand, living for years in a Thai refugee camp.
It's no hope, no future. And going through that process is that hoping that you could find a better life and hoping that you could find a better place and hoping a place where you could call home.
Years later, he did in Spokane, but his brother-in-law hasn't. He was just about to be let into the U.S.
Knowing that my family would not be able to travel due to the administration, the ban, and it's just very emotional.
This reality isn't unique to Gary's situation either. Many refugee families in Spokane are wondering if they will ever be reunited once the U.S. refugee admissions program is paused.
And we honestly don't have answers.
This is Christy Armstrong of World Relief Spokane.
And not being able to welcome people as we have is really heartbreaking.
The president saying the pause is for the interest of the country, which has translated into an unwelcoming feeling for Spokane refugees. And this message displayed outside the Thrive Center that says that Spokane loves refugees, Mark Finney now says, is up for question, as many refugees following these executive orders are questioning if the country truly feels that way.
Folks feel really concerned that maybe they're not as welcome in this country.
President Trump did not give a timeline for when refugees could be allowed in, stating in the executive order that it will only resume if it's in the interest of the United States. In Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the president plans to implement his mass deportation policy.
And it's not just creating anxiety for migrants, but also farmers.
If we had a mass deportation, we would lose most of our workforce.
Hear how that could impact the produce you buy, coming up next on 4 News Now.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
It's the new year, and we're ringing in the savings, like up to $15,520 off or 0% APR on a new Sierra 1500 Denali. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange. We're family owned and operated at GMC of Riverfront Park.
Are you looking for a great place to get a great workout and crush those New Year's resolution goals? Let's go! Join now and strive to thrive in 2025 at Move Fitness. Join the movement.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
70% of Washington jobs require education beyond high school, and that number is on the rise. Free or low-cost college or career training is possible for your child. Apply now and ensure there's a more lucrative and stable career in their future. Learn how at wogrant.org.
It's the new year, and we're ringing in the savings, like up to $9,000 off or 3.9% APR on a new Sierra 2500 HD Denali. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange. We're family owned and operated at GMC of Riverfront Park.
Next, ET, Megan Good talks wedding plans with Jonathan Major.
I'm happy and I'm thankful.
Plus, our exclusive onset of this hot bench milestone.
Order the car. Next, watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Everyone wants to know who will be nominated. Now tomorrow, live on GMA, the Oscar nominations will be revealed. No one does the Oscars like Good Morning America. Tomorrow morning, live on GMA.
We will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
An ongoing promise from President Donald Trump to deport people who are in America illegally. So now that he's president, what happens next? According to a Pew Research study, Americans cite crime, fairness, and limited resources as reasons undocumented immigrants should be deported. So as President Trump settles in during his first few days of office, millions of people eagerly wait and see if he'll in fact carry out his mass deportation plans. This is especially true for those in the agriculture industry who heavily rely on undocumented immigrants.
Washington is the largest producer of apples and sweet cherries, and orchard owners in the state are scared about what President Trump's plan could mean for the homegrown harvest. Marissa Rio met with a few of Washington's fruit growers and shares how they say this could affect you.
It's a Friday afternoon and a brisk 40 degrees here at Stein-Mansana Orchard in Royal City. As rays of sunlight shine through the branches, these orchard workers are pruning apple trees.
So we have to take all the bigger stuff, like this stuff is not going to be no fruit, so we have to come back where it's fruit.
This is Jose Ramirez. Not only does he manage Stein-Mansana, but he also owns his own orchard in Royal City.
I'm still employed because I need to support my family. And the orchard is, it's making enough money to pay the bills, but not enough to support my family.
So today, Jose is pruning the branches. But as he laughs with the other workers, a silent fear lingers in his mind about President Trump's campaign promise to deport millions of undocumented immigrants.
There's people that are going to be taken away if this happens. So it's going to be detrimental to this industry and other industries that people work on.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, roughly half of the nation's hired crop farm workers lack legal immigration status. Stein-Mansana General Manager Dane Craver is well aware.
So if we had a mass deportation, we would lose most of our workforce.
Both Dane and Jose say mass deportations wouldn't only affect their business, but it would also affect you and I and the produce that we buy.
It will skyrocket. Prices be probably twice as much what it is now.
Many growers depend on undocumented workers because Jose says the work is strenuous and pay at this orchard is about $20 an hour. Other orchards pay less.
If regular American people come and do this job, it's going to be more costs in top of what we have already.
Karina Gallardo is a professor and extension specialist at Washington State University's School of Economic Sciences. She says if orchards were to instead rely on guest worker programs like H-2A, that would also cost more money. She said foreign workers under the H-2A program must be paid a minimum of $19.25 an hour here in Washington.
You have to add to this rate the fixed costs associated with bringing H-2A workers, in especially housing, administration costs, transportation, and so on, which adds about $4.5 per hour.
H-2A workers are also only here seasonally, leaving growers in need when they're not in harvest. Without undocumented immigrants, Jose says the effects can go well beyond inflation.
Slowly, we're going to probably be out of business. This orchard that I work for, other people that have smaller places, they're going to go out of business.
Without these orchards,
probably outsource it. We have regulations in place here to kind of not use illegal or really toxic chemicals. And if we outsource stuff from other countries, they don't have these regulations. Then you and I be eating stuff that's not very safe.
There is this belief that undocumented immigrants working here in the orchards or the farms or the fields are taking away American jobs. But Dane, Jose, and experts tell me that's not the case. Karina said there's clear evidence of this when you look at the H-2A program.
The H-2A program also mandates that the employer advertises the job positions for a number of days, and nobody responds to those calls.
The Washington State Tree Fruit Association echoes that message.
This last year, there was 36,000 individual jobs in Washington State agriculture that could not be filled through that open public process. And so that's a pretty clear evidence that we're not getting the domestic applicants for well-paying jobs in agriculture.
This is something Dane has experienced firsthand.
Well, I've been in this industry for 46 years, and about after the first 10, I never had an Anglo person ever pick apples for me or even pretty much run orchards. They're not taking American jobs.
And how many of your employees are undocumented?
Right now, I think I have all my people documented, but it been in times when harvest comes, I hire a bunch of people, so I don't know. I don't know how many people can be legal, because we have to go through the process in hiring, and we have to make sure they provide us with documentation, and if that documentation looks good, we hire them.
There's nothing these growers and workers can do now, though, but wait. But as Jose remains patient, fears still linger in his mind. He asks those in power to help undocumented workers gain legal status instead of deporting them.
It's going to make this country better.
All right, Marissa Rio joins us now in studio.
And Marissa, one reason people gave for why they want undocumented immigrants deported is limited resources. But as you were working on this story, there's something really interesting that you learned that provides more context to that point.
Yeah, so with this documentation that these workers are giving, they're paying taxes just like everyone else. In fact, undocumented immigrants paid over $96 billion in local, federal, and state taxes in 2022, but they're not eligible for any of the programs that they're funding.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much.
High temperature today was 35 degrees, which is exactly average, but we started the day off at 15, the second coldest morning of the season so far, and there's more cold weather to tell you about the 7-day forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Toyota.
Surf and turf. Surf and turf. Low and slow and roasty beef. 2 of those things for $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
When you get injured in a car accident, you're going to have to fight with a big insurance company
who make huge profits by paying out small settlements.
That's when you call Russell and Hill. Call 800-LAW-0842.
All right, it's gonna be another good day. Hey, it's cold out, you guys. Families are freezing. They deserve better than that. Let's show them how business should be done. Hey, guys, have a great day. Need anything, let me know. Okay, Fixed Rider is free, baby. You know it's actually going all the way this year, right?
Yeah, I do.
Big day. No heat calls, right? We haven't been voted #1 for nothing, you guys. We've worked really hard to earn these customers' trust, and let's show them that we are the best company in town, okay?
I've been dealing with my weight issues for all my life. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay home and just be a couch potato. I wanted to have a fresh start. Spokane Wellness Group has helped me stay on track. When I started losing the weight, then I felt more comfortable. I feel wonderful right now because I've lost 65 pounds. It doesn't take me 10 minutes to walk across the parking garage anymore. I would encourage anybody to go to the Spokane Wellness Group. They stay with you every step of the way.
Surf and turf. 2 sandwiches. The sea giveth crispy fish. For $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
Temperatures have already dropped into the 20s, 29 in Spokane. With partly cloudy skies, it is only 24 with clear conditions in Coeur d'Alene, heading down to another night in the teens. We will have a few more clouds drifting through tomorrow. We are in this northerly flow, but we have some clouds working their way over the ridge of high pressure and eventually a system dropping down for tomorrow evening. Here we are during the day on Thursday. 4, 5 o'clock, here's 7 o'clock Thursday night, finally 10 o'clock Thursday night. A light band of snow moves through the region, bringing heavier amounts of snow but not heavy amounts of snow, to the central panhandle, the Palouse, down into the Camas Prairie. Could see up to a ½ inch of snow in Pullman, St. Mary's, Kellogg a little bit over that, right around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. However, it will be just a skiff of snow, a 1/10 of an inch in most locations, if that. Your planning forecast. We've got more cold weather coming, 32 tomorrow, 30 on Friday, with that chance of snow in the late night into the early morning hours. We've got more overnight lows in the teens, but also some sunshine for a cold weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Expect mostly sunny skies. We start warming up closer to average as we get into Wednesday of next week. I will be back in the next half hour with some Wildlife Wednesday photos for you. In the meantime, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This isn't our dog.
That one?
You never got new glasses, did you?
Well, you didn't know Stanton Optical makes eye care easy.
Exactly.
2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam, $79. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
It's the region's largest boat show. 10 days of boats, unbeatable deals, and nonstop fun. Explore the region's largest showroom. Unbeatable pricing. Discover better boats, the largest selection of inventory, and the biggest savings, all under one roof. See the latest models from top brands like Cobalt, Malibu, Axis, Regal, Barletta, Cruisers Yachts, Harris, and Chris Craft. Plus an incredible selection of pre-owned boats. The Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo, January 30th through February 8th. A 10-day event you don't want to miss.
Right now, you could be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. That's because for the price of the loose change currently hiding in your couch, you could hit a jackpot at Northern Quest. It's true. 188 people do it every day, and often with a bet that jingles rather than folds. So flip over a couch cushion near you, then win your share of more than $13 million worth of jackpot payouts each month. Only at Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
For the greatest selection at the lowest prices, come to Cost Less Carpet.
As a general contractor, I bring my clients to Cost Less Carpet so they can see every option.
Everything I need is always in stock.
If it's trendy or new, I'm sure you'll find it here.
And their team of designers are so fun to work with.
It really is worth the experience.
I can find everything for my home or my client's home. No problem.
Shopping here is an awesome experience.
Cost Less Carpet, where inspiration and ideas happen.
We know your time is valuable, and that is why at Colville Toyota, our goal is to get you in and out in an hour or less using our Express Maintenance Center.
With our pit crew approach and Toyota trained techs, your routine service happens fast.
Toyota Express Maintenance includes a safety inspection, oil changes, brake inspection, tire rotation, and much more.
Quality, speed, and confidence is what you can expect from Colville Toyota's Express Maintenance Center. We're your small-town dealership with a big heart.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Satay Bistro and Catering Company.
Well, say goodbye to the community colleges of Spokane because the schools are rebranding. They're now called Spokane Colleges. It's also changing its logo, saying the new one better represents who they are and their values. And check this out. The school's mascot is also getting a rebrand. You might have seen this on some billboards around town. Skitch will now be known as a Sasquatch rather than a Bigfoot. And as for why the foot logo went away, well, Spokane Colleges says its research showed people found the foot unappealing. I like the fierceness, though, right, of the new Sasquatch. Well, this weekend, you can add to your personal library without any cost.
Page 42 Bookstore is hosting its annual free book fair. You can sort through hundreds of books and find your next literary adventure. Page 42 Bookstore sells used books of all genres, from mystery novels to poetry to cookbooks. Owner Emily Peterson says she hopes to encourage readers of all ages, and especially kids who may have fallen out of the habit of reading. She's making sure that every person from every income level has access to great stories.
Everybody deserves access to good reads, and the way to do that is to make sure that they have a selection to choose from so that everybody can go in and find something that they would like, that they can connect with and grow from.
The free book fair is this Friday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Mayhem Soap Supply in Spokane Valley. I'm sure you can imagine. The shop also sells handmade soaps and teaches customers how to create their own. For more information, head to our website, kxly.com. Well, still ahead, a push to ban flavored tobacco products in Washington.
Why some say restricting access would actually do more harm than good. Plus, see the changes on the way to one busy area of downtown Spokane to make it more bike and pedestrian friendly.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
For the greatest selection at the lowest prices, come to Cost Less Carpet.
As a general contractor, I bring my clients to Cost Less Carpet so they can see every option.
Everything I need is always in stock.
If it's trendy or new, I'm sure you'll find it here.
And their team of designers are so fun to work with.
It really is worth the experience.
I can find everything for my home or my client's home. No problem.
Shopping here is an awesome experience.
Cost Less Carpet, where inspiration and ideas happen.
Magical moments, snowy adventures, warming up, making memories, a winter wonderland. The perfect close-by getaway this winter is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Find countless ways to play and plan your escape at cdawinter.com.
As temperatures drop, your heating bill will inevitably rise. And with cold weather right around the corner, things are about to get expensive. But Bill's Heating and AC is here to help. We're including a free cold climate heat pump with every furnace, while supplies last. You heard that right. Cut your heating bills in half with a new energy-efficient cold climate heat pump for free. We're the area's top cold climate heat pump experts. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Call Bill's Heating and AC today.
Beautiful move, and how about that advanced pass? Blocked by Aviat, up to shoot, two-hand jam.
Watch Blazers at Magic tomorrow at 4 on KXLY ABC4.
Tomorrow, after the Portland Trail Blazers game, Spokane High School athletes with and without disabilities are competing and connecting, how they're creating a community on and off the court. Watch tomorrow after the game on a special edition of 4 News Now.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, plans are in place for over a mile of new bike paths in downtown Spokane.
The Pacific Avenue Greenway would be a path for pedestrians and bicyclists to use away from some of the busier streets in the area. The path will start at Howard Street and stretch all the way to Perry. The city hopes this path will better connect the Sprague Union District, the University District, and downtown. Madeline Mullins is live downtown on this proposed path. And Madeline, what are some of the things that people are concerned about when it comes to this new bike path?
Crossing the street here at Division can be dangerous. You can see there's nothing here forcing cars to stop, and that would be a problem if you ever wanted to try and cross the street. And this new path will lead bicyclists and pedestrians to Division and have them cross the street and continue on to Brown. And with the traffic, the homelessness, and the drug activity in this area, the city says their biggest priority with this project is safety.
Around Spokane are crosswalks, lights, and paths that make up the larger Spokane bike network. And soon, the Pacific Avenue Greenway will be a part of that.
You can't really have a network without the connection. So being able to connect to the Benbur Trail, which then gets pretty close to the Centennial Trail today, having that whole network intersection is going to be really helpful.
But what makes a bike path is not just a sign saying so, but the infrastructure put in to ensure the safety of the people using it.
Narrowing the intersections, bringing those curb extensions out, slowing traffic down even further so that it's kind of a shared street. That's the priority, is just kind of making it a seamless experience where you can quickly travel through that area.
All of those things will be seen along the Pacific Avenue Greenway. starting with stoplights and crosswalks at Brown and Division, and moving east to South Perry, where there will be bulb outs and signage guiding those using the path.
I think it would be just that really safe east-west connection that doesn't currently exist that it's worth getting excited about, in my opinion.
And while the buildings along the route are not Spokane attractions, the city hopes the safety features and the destinations on either end of the path will encourage bicyclists of all skill levels to come out and ride it.
To really provide a safe way to get to those places where there's a lot going on.
Tomorrow, the city will be holding a public workshop where members of the community can come hear about details of this project and provide feedback specifically about the path underneath the Hamilton overpass. And if you want to find out more information about that meeting, you can find that on our website at kxly.com. Live in Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
All right, Madeline, thank you. One person died and 3 others were rushed to the hospital after suffering overdoses today. It happened near 3rd and Lincoln in Spokane. No word yet on what they overdosed on. According to the county medical examiner, there have been at least 16 accidental overdoses in the county so far since the start of the year. Well, tomorrow, the attorneys for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will argue that some of the key evidence used to connect their client to the scene of the crime should be thrown out.
The defense says the genetic genealogy process used to connect Brian Koberger to the knife sheath found at the scene was not transparent or legal. His defense team has argued all along that the genetic genealogy evidence was illegally used and should not be allowed at trial. Much of what will be argued and who will argue it is unclear, and that is because the judge has sealed exactly what evidence will be discussed, as well as the witness list. The defense and a coalition of media companies, including 4 News Now, are pushing for this to be public. The judge says the court will stream what it can, but says he is concerned that potential jurors could hear this evidence that they are not allowed to consider during the trial.
Around the Northwest, a woman from Boise is rejecting a pardon from President Donald Trump for her role in the January 6th insurrection.
She sat down with CNN to explain why she's turning it down.
They're trying to rewrite history that January 6th was not an insurrection, and I don't want to be a part of that. It was an insurrection. It was a riot. It would be a slap in the face to the Capitol Police and to the rule of law.
Pam Hemphill, who you just heard from, goes on to say she plans on working with her attorneys to make sure the pardon is rejected.
All right, let's send it over to Chris Crocker now with a look at your first alert forecast.
4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be another cold night tonight in the teens. Partly to mostly sunny skies on Thursday with some light snow coming in late, but it's going to amount to less than an inch, if that. It'll be very, very light if you get any snow at your place. Here's a look at some of the temperatures you can expect when you walk out the door tomorrow morning in the teens in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, and up through North Idaho, 14 in Colville, 7 in Winthrop, 26 tomorrow morning in Lewiston. Right around the Spokane area, temperatures ranging from 15 in Deer Park and Spirit Lake to 19 degrees in Spangle and Spokane Valley. Meanwhile, your Thursday planner, expect partly to mostly sunny skies. We'll see the clouds increasing tomorrow evening with a little bit of light snow on the way. I'll let you know how much, if any, to expect where you live coming up in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Hydrologists in Idaho are worried about the snowpack across the state, but the long-term forecast could change that.
Yeah, scientists say the snowpack is above average in North Idaho so far this winter, but it's beginning to decline. Derek Strom has the latest projections on what our water supply will look like.
Even though scientists have seen snowpack accumulate less and less over the past 5 or so decades across the inland Northwest, they're seeing pretty encouraging trends so far this year when it comes to our local snowpack. Most of North Idaho has 90% or more of its typical snowpack for this time of year, according to the Idaho Department of Water Resources, but hydrologist David Hokema says most of the state is either seeing its snowpack stay the same or even drop slightly. Much of our region has seen drier weather recently, but the National Weather Service says next month could bring more moisture and snowpack with it. Further south along the Snake River, there's even more concern about the water supply for the upcoming year.
Currently, our projections are for a fair to poor water supply year at this point in time based on this index. And we're looking for that to hopefully improve as we move through the spring.
Snowpack percentiles have fallen by 11% across the state over the last week. That includes Kootenai County falling from an above-average 71st percentile snowpack to 55%, but the National Weather Service is forecasting above-average precipitation for North Idaho over the next 2 weeks. Hydrologists are hopeful that more moisture coming to our region could help quickly establish a strong snowpack. In Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
Well, it is the toughest home test of the year for the Spokane Chiefs tonight.
They have the first place Everett Silvertips in town for a battle between the two best teams in the U.S. division, Jack.
It is quite a big one for the Chiefs just next door. We were talking with them at practice this week, how they're prepped for such a big game in their home barn.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Mysticwa Casino Hotel in Chewelah.
I've been in the sporting goods business all my life, and what my customers tell me is they want American, made in the U.S. They want tough, rugged, and durable. They want freedom, and freedom to go where they want and to get back safely. America's low boats, powered by Mercury Outboards, along with Elephant Boys Boating Store, can give you that freedom. At Elephant Boys Boating Store with Mercury Outboards, we have what you want.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Welcome to Parker Toyota, the Toyota Truck Center of the Northwest. Our inventory has never been better with a huge selection from stock to fully customized trucks.
And now you can choose between a gas or hybrid powertrain. So whether you're looking for great MPGs or a 12,000-pound towing capacity, we have the truck for you.
Check out the all-new Toyota Tacoma and Tundra at your locally owned Parker Toyota in beautiful Coeur d'Alene.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
I was suicidal all the time, thinking about it nonstop, every day, every moment.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. At NeuroStim TMS, we treat the root of the problem with a series of short daily treatments. Using a non-invasive magnetic field, TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
The treatment just completely, fundamentally changed my life.
Visit neurostimtms.com today or call to schedule your free consultation at any of our 12 Washington state locations.
Spokane Chiefs have skated their way to third in the Western Conference so far, second in the U.S. division, only behind one team in the Everett Silvertips. But these Chiefs get a chance to knock off those Giants tonight at Spokane Arena. Chiefs returning to the ice, winners of 3 of their last 4 games. And for their last 5 home games, Everett and Spokane split their first 2 meetings, a November shootout win and January loss. And they'll play those Silvertips again in just a week and a half out west. We spoke with the team this week on how they feel ahead of that major game.
Anytime you play the top teams in our league, it's always a great, for us as coaches, it kind of sees where your team's at and where we need to improve on and work on. And obviously we want to put our best foot forward. We've played them very well so far this year. We've had some good games with them. We're excited about the matchup again here in our barn. It's the first time they're going to be here. So, hopefully the home crowd and the home ice helps us out.
The players agreed too. They said tonight will really settle who really is the best in the West, despite a 12-point gap in the standings. This is game 3 of a 5-game Chiefs home stretch. They have Medicine Hat at home Friday and then Victoria after a week off. But you don't have to wait long, though, for this one. Chiefs puck drop is only a few minutes from now. We'll have highlights coming up nightside. Washington State men's basketball has recovered well since their 0-2 stretch against Pacific and Gonzaga, rattling off wins at San Diego and home against Portland Pilots. Cougs now have arguably their toughest week of the season so far, starting with Santa Clara on the road tomorrow night and then hosting the St. Mary's Gales on Saturday. Head coach David Riley spoke with the media this week on how they plan to attack a challenging next few days.
We've talked about our team not having much room for error, and if we're focused on the external things, then we're not very good. So we got two great opponents that are playing as good as anyone. Santa Clara just beat Gonzaga. St. Mary's hasn't lost in the WCC, and so it's gonna be a fun week.
Wazoo is currently tied for third in the conference with 7 of their 11 remaining games against the best in the conference, at least so far. That's Gonzaga, Santa Clara, St. Mary's, USF, and Oregon State. The road to a high seed still remains extremely tough. WSU is 6-4 all time against Santa Clara, but lost in their last meeting just last season. Cougs will look to continue controlling the boards and turnovers. They heavily out-rebound in Portland, and they force 17 TOs. Tip-off in the Bay is a late one, 8 p.m. tomorrow. So the Cougs could really use this win, which of course you'd always like a win, but they're tied with the Broncos at 5-2. They would be tied for second in the WCC if they could pull off a win.
Yeah, going to be tough at Santa Clara, though, especially with them riding high right now. All right, Jack, thank you so much.
Well, Washington legislators could soon consider a ban on flavored tobacco products like vapes and menthol cigarettes.
Supporters say it's crucial to stopping a cycle of nicotine addiction. But as Murrow News fellow Albert James shows us, opponents say the ban could do more harm than good.
Essentially removing access to those products and ensuring that our young folks don't end up with a lifetime of addiction.
Democrat Christine Reeves is pushing House Bill 1203. If passed, the legislation would ban the sale and advertising of any kind of flavored nicotine product starting in 2026, whether it be a cinnamon-flavored vape pen, a nicotine pouch, or a menthol cigarette. CDC data from 2024 shows youth tobacco use is at a 25-year low, with only 2.25 million middle and high schoolers saying they use a tobacco product. Reeves says fruity or candy flavors have been used to draw young people into using tobacco.
I want to make sure that we aren't, building the next generation in a way that they're addicted, that they end up with a lifelong addiction like my mom, who unfortunately died at the age of 60 due to lung cancer.
The bill isn't calling for a total ban. Any product that's okayed first by the Federal Food and Drug Administration would remain on the shelves. Within the past 6 months, certain Zyn nicotine pouches and menthol-flavored e-cigarettes got FDA marketing authorization. Reeves says she understands people want to access products in a free market, but her ultimate goal is to educate people on the dangers of the products.
How do we make sure that our regulatory agencies have the resources necessary to tackle this problem and make sure that we're keeping these products in a well-regulated market and away from our kids?
Tony Aboud, executive director of vaping advocacy group Vapor Technology Association, says vaping is a less harmful alternative to cigarettes and helps people quit smoking. He says banning flavored vapes will increase traditional cigarette use.
It's clearly a huge public health mistake, and it's going to cause a public health disaster in the state of Washington.
The FDA has authorized 34 e-cigarette products to be sold in the U.S. It says while e-cigarettes can generally be a lower risk alternative to cigarettes, they are not risk-free and no tobacco product is safe. Aboud argues the ban could result in hundreds of millions of dollars in lost tax revenues, and lawmakers should consider limiting how they're sold and advertised.
We can implement marketing restrictions on how e-cigarettes are advertised, where they can be advertised, where they can be sold, how they can be sold.
Reeves says the ban ultimately is that limit, as there are no benefits to any nicotine product being on the market.
I don't want to hear the industry talk about how they're providing a harm reduction product for a problem that they created, with both the invention of nicotine utilization and, quite frankly, with their promotion and targeting of Black African Americans and youth in the continuation of that product.
Reeves says the bill is slated for a committee hearing sometime next week, and she's looking forward to working with lawmakers and the public to get it signed into law. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
It is Wildlife Wednesday, and here's just a preview from James Richmond, a great blue heron in flight. What a gorgeous photo. I'll be back with more on your 7-day forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's back, the Big Boat Show, 4 big days. Come on out, shop and compare. There's something for everyone at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. Learn more at SpokaneBoatShow.com.
I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Here at Coeur d'Alene Honda, we're more than just a car dealership. We're family. For the past 53 years, we've been proudly serving our community.
We offer the best vehicles with a nationwide lifetime warranty.
From coast to coast, we've got you covered.
Whether you're looking for an affordable used car, we're looking to upgrade to a new Honda. We're here to make the process simple and stress-free.
It's not just about selling cars.
We give back to local charities and support our community.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Clogged drains are a huge problem and can cost thousands. With Mainstream, you can prevent clogs before they happen. There's no better time than now to call Mainstream and ask about our 83 or it's free drain clearing special. For just $83, we'll send a technician to your home to clear your drain. And if for some reason we can't get it, it's free. With over 20 years of experience, the expert technicians at Mainstream can restore the flow. Call Mainstream today or visit us at mainstreamhomeservices.com to take advantage of this limited time deal.
Come on out to the Spokane Boat Show. We've got boats of all types and sizes. Heavy metal, smaller fishing boats, open bow, high-performance ski and wakeboard boats, pontoons, kayaks, canoes, and personal watercraft.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
It's my favorite day of the week.
It's Wednesday,
Yeah.
which means we get to look at some wildlife.
Wildlife Wednesday, yes, and I learned some interesting moose facts from Mark Vogt that I'm going to share with you.
There are moose facts that you didn't know
I know.
already?
I feel like I knew all there was to know about moose. Here's a young bull moose looking good in the snow. Mark says there's so much more snow up in the higher terrain compared to down in the valleys in North Idaho. I believe him. And but what he told me is you don't want to startle a moose in the winter. You probably don't want to startle them at any time. But in the winter, they do go into a dormant stage, similar to a bear, just nowhere near as extreme. Their heart rate slows, their metabolism slows, and they just like to chill in the winter. And that's what this young bull moose is doing. So I will not startle any moose, Mark. Courtney Litwin, gosh, another one of my all-time favorite creatures. Beautiful snowy owl in flight. You can tell this is near sunset with that pretty pink sky behind it. Just a beautiful photo, Courtney. And from Kazu Crumpleman, some gorgeous deer posing for her in Hauser in the snow. So much snow in all of these Wildlife Wednesday photos, but so little snow in the forecast. These are our odds for measurable snow with this system coming in tomorrow night. And measurable snow is not an inch, but 1/10 of an inch. That's all it takes to count as measurable snow. Many locations, the odds do not look good. In Spokane, it's only a 24% chance that we'll get 1/10 of an inch or more. 0 in Moses Lake, Colville, only 4% in Deer Park. The odds do increase as we get into North Idaho, and then in those upslope areas around Coeur d'Alene, the Palouse, the Camas Prairie, we see those odds increase, especially St. Mary's getting closer into the central panhandle. You'll see those numbers increase for, again, not a lot of snow because this system isn't going to amount to much. As we go through the evening on Thursday, there's that band of light snow right around 10 p.m. And then by 3 a.m., it is long gone, leaving just a dusting of snow behind it on the roads. These are the latest projections on how much snow to expect. Really nothing for the Columbia Basin and very little in the Northeast Mountains and North Idaho. About 1/10 of an inch around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and then up to a 1/2 inch or even a little bit more once we're into the Silver Valley. Close view on the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area between 1/10 and 2/10 of an inch, if that. Your planning forecast. Other than that little bit of light snow, we are dry through the 7-day forecast. Blue skies and sunshine this weekend, but high temperatures running more than 5 degrees below average. We do start warming up to average by the middle of next week, at least during the day, but those overnight lows staying in the teens through the 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, we got down to 15 degrees this morning. That was the second coldest night of the season so far. We hit 13 once before. We've got a couple more 15s in the forecast. So really cold weather ahead, Kirsten.
Yeah, the heater is doing some extra overtime work at my house. Thank you, Chris. Before we go to break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
Shifting Gears is TV's #1 new comedy.
Am I smiling? It's uncomfortable.
Tim Allen and Kat Dennings fire on all cylinders.
Don't make one of your condescending grunts. Yeah, like that.
Ready to enjoy a vacation close to home? Come stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. Right now, cozy up in a Kootenai Falls Lodge room for just $59 midweek and $89 on the weekends. An incredible bang for your buck. Join us in January at the Kootenai Casino and win this winter. Book your stay and play now. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest, we specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
We have all your SUV options here at Post Falls Volkswagen. Choose the SUV with easy-to-use technology that best meets your needs and budget. There are so many choices, so take as many test drives as you want, and our knowledgeable staff will assist you with all the information you need.
Get the Tiguan with 0% APR or a $2,500 customer bonus. At Post Falls Volkswagen, it's easy to drive home your dream SUV.
Find SUV options at Post Falls Volkswagen, the home of 0000.
Are you looking for a great place to get a great workout and crush those New Year's resolution goals? Let's go! Join now and strive to thrive in 2025 at Move Fitness.
Join the movement. Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, a dreamy spa day turned into a nightmare for several New York Botox patients. Why the esthetician who injected them is facing jail time. That's at 11.
Oh my, I'm glad I'm going to be here at 11. I would like to hear about that. Here is your planning forecast. A little bit of light snow possible tomorrow night, and then sunshine Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's no shortage of it.
Yeah, lots and lots of vitamin D, but do you want to go outside for more than a couple minutes to risk it?
Wear your hats and your gloves, and we'll see you at 11.